Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome everyone. Before we begin today's module, let us first recite our dua. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma aftah lana hikmataka wanshur alayna rahmataka min khazaini rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Allahumma inna nas'aluka rizqan tayyiba wa ilman nafi'a wa amalan mutaqabbala. Rabbish rahli sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Ameen. Welcome everyone to module 1.5. Alhamdulillah, you've reached this far and I hope you're not giving up yet. You are just left with 2 more modules before completing the entire of module 1. Once you've completed all the modules in module 1, you are able to take a test with us, take an assessment with us. Once you've taken the assessment, we will examine your recitation and determine whether you are able to progress to module 2 or if it's best for you to try again, to continue practicing. This is to ensure that you are ready. This assessment that we will be doing is to ensure that you will be ready for module 2. The criteria is actually fairly quite simple. The criteria for the assessment is actually, number 1, if you can recognize all the letters. Number 2, you are able to read all the letters fluently, clearly, and at the same time you read it short. Lastly, don't make much mistakes. Those are the criteria we set during examinations. Okay, we will test you and you will send us your recording and we will examine, inshallah. But before we go into that, and before we actually go through the last few letters of the Arabic language, as usual, we'll do a quick recap. As you can see from the screen here, I've written down all these letters, and by now you should be able to recognize everything from A all the way until Ma. Same thing, if there are letters that you can't recognize, go back and practice more, inshallah. Okay, we will read together from A all the way until Ma. Let us begin. A, Ba, Ta, Tha, Ja, Ha, Kha, Da, Tha, Ra, Za, Sa, Sha, So, Do, To, Zo, Ra, Ra, Fa, Qa, Ka, La, Ma. One more time. A, Ba, Ta, Tha, Ja, Ha, Kha, Da, Tha, Ra, Za, Sa, Sha, So, Do, To, Zo, Ra, Ra, Fa, Qa, Ka, La, Ma. Last one. A, Ba, Ta, Tha, Ja, Ha, Kha, Da, Tha, Ra, Za, Sa, Sha, So, Do, To, Zo, Ra, Ra, Fa, Qa, Ka, La, Ma. Alhamdulillah. And that's for today's recap. I will not be testing you and writing to you 3 letters for you to test you lah. And I believe that you guys have already memorized all these letters and you guys are able to recognize this shape. You guys are able to pronounce properly. Inshallah, we will continue and progress to today's lesson. Today you will be learning, okay, let me hold on. Yes, just 4 letters. The letters are Na, Wa, Ha, Ya. Na, Wa, Ha, Ya. Na, Wa, Ha, Ya. I actually want to bring your attention to these 2 letters. I'll explain the letter Ha first. Hold on. Okay. As you know, this is also the letter Ha. And what you've learned, this is also the letter Ha. But there's a difference in pronunciation. The first one, what you've learned before, it's very light. Ha. ha. What you are learning right now, which is this one, it's actually very thick. Ha. Ha. It requires a lot of breath. Ha. Aside from the pronunciation, right? This is ha. It can be written like this also. Ha. This too is the same. Both of them are pronounced the same way. Ha and ha. But for the practice below, we will just be using this way, this form, right? The next letter is actually the letter ya. The letter ya is written like this, or it can be written like this with two dots below. If you see these two shapes, it's the same. It's still the letter ya. And for the practice below, we will just be using this for practice. In the Quran, both is being used. Much like the letter ha, it's the same thing. Both is being used. Oh, hold on. Okay, can. Right? So that's those two things are the one that I want to bring your attention to in terms of the letters. Okay, so this module is very simple. Na, wa, ha, ya. Below we've jumbled up the letters, as you all know, but some letters some forms, when we jumble up, there's a repetition, and I'm sure you guys are already aware of that. There's not much changes that we can make to differentiate. So we've tried our best, and inshallah, if you have made it this far, alhamdulillah, our subsequent modules and our subsequent parts will be similar. It will be similar to this concept. We will teach you bit by bit, but you must do the heavy work of practicing, inshallah. Inshallah, practice well, and I'll see you in the next video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.